You ever notice that? Your favorite restaurant, the one you've gone to for years, suddenly closes its doors. Or a product you love, one you rely on, just tanks in quality overnight. The usual story is bad management or, failing to adapt. But what if that's not the real story? What if something much more deliberate is happening right under our noses?
I know, that's a heck of a statement, but it really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. We're not looking at businesses that just naturally ran out of steam. We're talking about perfectly healthy, even beloved companies that were targeted, hollowed out from the inside, and then left for dead.
And the list of casualties is full of names you know. I mean, Toys R Us? Did kids suddenly stop loving toys? No way. Red Lobster? Was it really just about some shrimp promotion? And the crisis at your local ER, it's way more complicated than a simple doctor shortage. There's a hidden financial playbook that connects all of them.
When Red Lobster went under, this was the meme everywhere. And it's hilarious, right? The idea that the endless shrimp deal was so good, so popular, that we, the customers, literally ate the company into bankruptcy. It's a fantastic story. The only problem is, it's not what happened at all.
So, if the shrimp didn't kill Red Lobster, what did? This is where things get interesting. We have to peel back that simple, funny explanation to find the real story. The shrimp, it turns out, were just a cover story, a distraction for a financial gutting that had been happening for years.
Okay, so here's how the playbook works. A private equity firm swoops in and buys the company. Step 2, they immediately sell off all the valuable real estate, the land the restaurants are actually sitting on. They pocket billions in cash from that sale. And then, here's the kicker. They force Red Lobster to start paying massive rent on the very buildings it used to own.
And that's the key. The company was already bleeding out, suffocating under these brand new, totally artificial rent payments. So that endless shrimp deal, that wasn't some silly blunder. It was a desperate last-ditch attempt to get people in the door of a business that had already been financially hollowed out by its owners.
This whole move has a name, and you've probably heard it, a leveraged buyout, or LBO. It sounds like complicated financial jargon, I get it, but the actual idea is shockingly simple. It's the weapon of choice in this whole story, and we're going to break it down.
This is the best way to think about it. Imagine you want to buy a house, but instead of using your own money, you take out a massive loan in the house's name, using the house itself as collateral. You move in, and then you just leave the house to figure out how to pay off the giant mortgage you just saddled it with. The buyer takes on almost zero risk, and the company they just bought is left drowning in debt.
I mean, just look at this comparison. It is wild. On the left, you've got the classic mob bust-out you've seen in movies. Take over a business, run up its credit, sell everything you can, and torch the place. On the right, the private equity LBO. Acquire a company, load it with debt, pay yourself huge fees, and then just let it go bankrupt. The playbook is almost identical, but as you can see, the result for the people who do it couldn't be more different. One gets you prison time, the other gets you on the cover of Forbes.
Of course, the big firms that do this, we're talking huge names like Blackstone, Apollo, Carlyle, they don't call it a bust-out. Oh no, they have a much nicer, much more corporate-friendly term for it. They're just here to make the company more efficient by making operational improvements.
But what does efficient actually look like in the real world for you and me? Well, it means firing experienced staff because, they cost more. It means swapping out quality ingredients for cheaper ones. It's the reason you're on hold forever with customer service, why your airline seat feels like it's shrinking, and why that brand new dishwasher seems designed to break the day after the warranty expires.
You know that feeling that everything is getting a little bit worse while also getting more expensive? It's not just you, and it's not just inflation. Our source material for this explainer uses a pretty blunt term for it, but it's an accurate one: Enshittification. It's the systematic process of degrading a service to extract maximum profit, burning through decades of brand loyalty and customer goodwill just to make a debt payment.
And what this process creates are zombie companies. The LBO model is practically designed to do this. It cripples a business with so much debt that all it can do is pay the interest. There's no money left for R&D, no money to grow, no money for raises. The company is just a zombie, shambling along until it finally collapses.
And here is the most incredible, most cynical part of this whole thing. The private equity firm that created the zombie, they get paid the entire time. They charge the company they own millions of dollars in management fees every single year. It doesn't matter if the company is succeeding or failing, they get their fees, profiting from the company's life and from its death.
Now you might be thinking, well, this is terrible for a toy store or a restaurant, but hey, it's just consumer stuff. But a financial model this profitable doesn't just stay in one lane, it spreads. And now it's spreading into the absolute bedrock of our society.
This isn't about Cheddar Bay biscuits anymore. This same financial logic is now being applied to things we absolutely cannot live without. Private equity is now a dominant owner of emergency rooms, vet clinics for our pets, and even single-family homes, turning our most essential services into assets to be squeezed.
And when you apply the LBO playbook to something like healthcare, the results are as predictable as they are terrifying. Wait times go up, experienced staffing levels go down, and your costs go through the absolute roof. Why? Because the hospital's main job is no longer patient care. Its main job is generating cash to pay down the massive debt its new owners put on it.
Which brings us to the final and maybe most important question of all. Where on earth are these firms getting the trillions of dollars needed to buy up our entire economy? The answer is the most shocking part of this whole story, and I promise you, it's probably not who you think.
Just look at this chart. The single biggest source of cash for private equity is public pension funds, yeah? The retirement money for our teachers, our firefighters, our police officers, their pension funds are chasing the high returns this model promises, and they've become its biggest fuel source.
And what this creates is this absolutely maddening, completely self-destructive loop. We are quite literally using our own retirement money to finance the dismantling of the very services and communities we rely on. It's a system eating itself alive.
Let's just walk through how insane this paradox is. Step 1. A firefighter's pension needs to hit its numbers, so it invests in a private equity fund. Step 2. That fund buys up the local ER, cuts staff, and slashes resources to squeeze out profit. Step 3. That firefighter's job now becomes harder and way more dangerous because the ER they rely on is understaffed. And all of it is being done to generate the returns needed to fund that same firefighter's retirement. It is a perfect, vicious circle.
So when we come back to where we started, the takeaway is this. These companies, these brands, these services we love, they didn't just die. It wasn't natural causes. They were systematically drained of every drop of value, asset stripped, and left as an empty shell.
So the next time you see a headline about a beloved brand going bankrupt, or you notice a service you depend on suddenly get terrible, don't just accept the easy answer. Ask a different question. Look deeper. Look for the debt. And always look for the owners.
And we'll end on this thought. That feeling that things are breaking, that the system isn't working right. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Our economy isn't breaking down by accident. It's being deliberately and efficiently stripped for parts.